Hello, I'm Michael.
And I'm Ethan.
And you're listening to Random Thoughts. Welcome to episode 1. This is the pilot episode, the first episode just getting to know us and what the show will be. So how are you, Ethan?
I'm good. How are you, Michael?
Yeah, I'm good enough. So, our show is called Random Thoughts, as you can probably guess.
Yep.
What we're going to be it's just two friends talking, basically.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot about video games,
technology, science,
comics, just whatever
interests us.
Our
hobbies.
We're going to avoid the news a lot.
Yep, because there is a lot of bad news, sadly.
News isn't really interesting, so there might be mentions for it, but don't look for it, because it won't be there. I've got two YouTube channels. I have a video game one and a technology programming one. You can also find me at Michael R.B. Parker on Twitter.
I am only on Twitter. I play a lot of video games, that's my main thing.
I play a lot of video games as well. We've also have a Twitter account for our podcast. It's called Random Thoughts PO. The PO stands for podcast.
You can send in any ideas or recommendations through that.
Ideas, feedback, anything. You can also ask questions with the hashtag AskRandomThoughts.
Yep.
That has been claimed before making the show.
We were prepared.
This podcast should be available on any form of podcast service other than Spotify currently, because Spotify seems to be a bit awkward to get it registered to.
Oh, that's
that will be for the future. We also have a YouTube channel for our podcast, because some people listen to their podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. It might just be easier for people.
When it comes to how regular this podcast will be, we don't know. We're not going to be a group of people who will say every 2 weeks we'll record or every month. It will just be when we fancy it.
We hope to get a regular schedule, but anything's better than nothing.
2 to 3 weeks per episode will what we will be aiming for, but you might sometimes see, 3 episodes back to back. You might sometimes see no episodes for a while.
Back to back.
It will be random when we upload, go to the name.
Like your random thoughts.
It will just be, if we have something interesting, we'll write it down and then go back to it. If we don't have anything interesting to say, you won't get an episode from us.
Yeah.
It's pointless trying to be one of those people who will make content every week without having anything to say. If we don't have anything to say,
content.
It's just a waste of time. So yesterday it was the Samsung Galaxy event.
Yep, it was a Samsung Note 20 and...
it was the announcement of it, even though it's a bit pointless because we all knew what we were expecting, because someone in Samsung, I can't remember his name, fairly big in the company, leaked it all 24 hours.
There are a bunch of fancy new features, but nothing we haven't seen.
120Hz display, it's been on other Androids. They seem to be doing more partnering up with Microsoft and Google, which will be really good. I'm looking forward to that, because we're both Android people.
Yeah. Don't
have Apple, so you might hear a lot about Samsung. We'll probably mention other tech companies.
Of course, it would be only fair.
This is just interesting. They're now going to be giving out USB-C headphones when you purchase your phone, as well as the cable will be USB-C to a USB-C adapter, which will be quite interesting.
They don't seem to have a headphone jack, which is...
No, looks like they removed it.
Oh no.
Which is slightly a shame, because I like having a headphone jack, but we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, now you're going to have to go to the splitter days.
These ones having two-way power sharing like the last lot, which is a good feature that I liked. It's helped me out a few times.
Yeah.
The other thing is they've now got the cameras. The camera is massive, which is going to be really good with the help with laser focus.
The laser autofocus, yeah, that has potential.
When it comes to shot on Samsung or shot on iPhones at their events, you can never really trust it. Because I looked watching ones behind the scenes on it, and they stuck bigger lenses on top of their phone lenses at a few things. So
they can technically say it was shot.
So the cameras will speak for itself when it comes out.
Yeah.
Once more people, more reviewers have got their hands on it, some of it will be coming. It'll be more clear. Another pinhole camera, which is quite nice, no annoying notches.
It's cut out.
It's one of those things with the pinhole cameras that I don't like the look of, but you don't notice it after a while.
Yeah, you get used to just looking around it.
It becomes invisible almost. 8K screen now, which will be quite nice.
And camera.
And they have the most hilarious names now for their colours. Majestic Bronze, Majestic White and...
Majestic Black.
Is it Majestic Black as well?
Yeah, it's the whole Majestic line.
Someone's obviously trying to make their colours sound fancier.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's working.
So they've also got a green and a grey, which will be quite nice. Last year, their signature colours were blue and yellow.
And
Blue and yellow. They had them in a few other colours. And they're also now redoing the Galaxy Buds. They don't have the nicest ear feel, according to a few reviewers, but again, I think that's something you just get used to. They're also having an Ultra, which is built bigger, and I can't remember how much it is. It's now going to be 5G compatible, which is for people who live by 5G towers, great. Everyone else just gets 4G one. They're selling them separately.
They both work. There probably won't be too much of a difference.
No, 5G's faster, but they get cut out quite easily. Just walking behind a single tree can block out 5G.
Oh.
While 4G has a much further range, but it will be slower.
Alright.
Different wavelengths.
So you have to account for some
So
weaknesses.
a lot of people with 5G phones won't always be on 5G.
Right.
A lot of the time they'll be on 4G or even 3G in some places.
Depending on the situation. That's completely fair.
So it looks like it could all be quite interesting. Samsung's also had an interesting deal with Microsoft by the seems of it, where you can now they're aiming to make Samsung phones better at gaming.
Yep.
Which will be interesting to see how well it works. I'm not someone who likes playing games on their phone. I'll play it on a computer or a console or even a Switch. But I don't use my phone for video games.
There are specific types of games you wouldn't kind of play on your phone, like just time-wasting ones.
But it could be interesting what it is. So, like, also all the Xbox exclusive games will be available through the Game Pass. So, Halo, Microsoft exclusive,
on the phone.
Forza, hopefully, because I'm a fan of Forza. They're also there's also going to be a controller coming out between them that lets your phone slot in, and it will charge your phone while using it.
That would be pretty fancy.
That can be interesting to see how well it works. So that's seems to be a lot of what's happening. There's going to be they're releasing another watch with it, and they're also going to be releasing the Samsung tablets now, where they've managed to lower the latency between the pen from 59 milliseconds to 9 milliseconds.
Which is pretty good.
So the tip of the pen's not going to be solid anymore, it's going to have a slight spring in it, so you can actually press down.
Nice.
So apparently it will feel more realistic and like writing out on paper.
Now I won't feel too scared putting down too much pressure.
This is something I'm not sure how well will work. The other thing that they've been doing is they're going to be trying to work on better text or writing down to text conversions, and it seems like they're also putting a lot more work on their tablets now.
Yeah, there is potential, but I wonder how far it'll actually go.
Also, they're releasing they're going to be doing more with Windows, so you can have all your mobile apps on your laptop as its own app, so there'll be an app called Apps.
Which would be pretty interesting.
That you're going to you're going to be able to have a call on your phone, and you can answer it from your tablet or laptop as well.
That has a lot of potential for people.
That's something I will like, because it will increase productivity. And also notes and calendars being linked with Microsoft, which I will like.
Notes, oof. I use my Samsung Notes so often, and yet I have to make new ones on OneNote.
So it will just be able to just drag it across, which will be helpful. As well as if you set a reminder with Samsung Reminders, it will go straight into your Windows Reminders, and you can just drag it into your calendar. So again, increasing productivity time, doing less faffing around.
Yeah.
Something that was saw last year at WWDC that's not been out, not sure if you watched it, is that Bully thing, which was a yellow robot that can look after your house while you're away.
Oh yeah,
I was hoping for another mention of that.
They seem to have put it to the wayside for now.
Hasn't been announced at all, haven't been able to see it at all, so I would like to know where that's going.
It would be pretty cool just to have that around.
So they've been working quite hard on these phones, so that it'll be good to see what it's like when it all comes out. There was also, I believe, was there talk about a TV? I can't remember. There was quite a lot.
There might have been.
Okay, I was more writing notes down about the phone, so that's going to be the Samsung segment for this episode.
Yep.
So this sums up this episode. It's been a shorter episode than normal because it's our pilot episode and we're just getting used to it. So you've just listened to episode 1. I'm Michael. You can find me at Michael R. B. Parker on Twitter.
Or you can find me at Mr_E_Ethan for Twitter.
Our podcast has its own Twitter account, which is called Random Thoughts PO. You can ask us any questions using the hashtag #AskRandomThoughts.
Feel free, please do.
Let's end with a joke. What do a group of whales listen to on a long journey? A podcast.